Hello, dear viewer and dear listener, and people doing neither. It is I, Danny, and it is Carl, and we are a Bergkamp Wonderland, and this is ABW Live. Carl, how are you doing?
We're in the fourth round, Danny, so I am very well.
Can't argue with that. What are you more excited about, being in the fourth round or doing a podcast with me on Tuesday again?
Danny, nothing excites me more than to see your pretty face 2 days later.
You're too kind. Horrid child. Right, so what was your thoughts on the lineup and what was your expectations before the game while I go and get the links and tweet people and let everybody know what we are live?
All right. Well, the lineup surprised me a little bit. I thought the team was maybe a little bit stronger than I anticipated. I didn't expect Tierney to start. I honestly thought that Ainsley, Maitland-Niles would start in place of him because Tierney's been playing a lot of games and he has been running up and down that wing, and I think we need to save him just a little bit. So I was surprised that he started, to be honest. David Luiz coming into the squad, I pretty much thought that he would definitely come in, considering that Gabriel was still unwell, and also that Holding probably needs a little bit of a rest as well. Also, I didn't expect to see Ranison in the squad, to be honest, because I think we definitely have lost faith in Ranison after the Man City game. How he played was just ridiculous. So I did expect to see Leno into the squad. The other crux of the team was kind of maybe how I expected it, just because Martinelli's starting, we need runners, and obviously it's unfortunate that he had to be left out of the squad because he got injured in the warm-up, which was very unfortunate. Oh, what have you done?
I'm watching our Twitch feed on my phone, and although I've muted my phone, it doesn't account for the Twitch feed. So there you go. I've had to mute my phone again. Oh. Sorry. Go on.
Yeah, and it was unfortunate that Martinelli got injured in the warm-up, which obviously affected us a little bit because we then had to play Willian, and then also, which we'll get onto Willian later, because for me, I've got so much to say about Willian. It's unreal. I just think that, yeah, he's not Arsenal quality in the slightest. I don't know, but we are where we are. We had to play Joe Willock and also Reece Nelson. And Reece Nelson came in sort of at the, like 10 minutes notice to say, oh, you're now starting, which is not easy for any player. I mean, you should be almost automatically ready to come on. I get that. But, if you're thinking to yourself, oh, I'm going to be on the bench, and then 10 minutes before the game, oh, by the way, you're now starting. It's a lot for you have to get your body warmed up properly and then also get your mind sort of into the game. So I think that affected him as well, but we'll talk about that later. And Aubameyang playing up front, well, he needs goals, doesn't he? He needs confidence. And Newcastle, I think they lost before today. They lost like 6 games in a row. I think this was obviously a confidence boost game, a game that you could think, oh, maybe that he can come in and get a couple of goals. But apart from that, the lineup was kind of as is. It was, you wanted to save the likes of Saka and the likes of Smith Rowe and the likes of Lacazette, because they're at the moment our informed players, and you don't want to play them every single game. So yeah, there you go.
Newcastle have not won in 7. The last time they won was against West Brom in the 12th of December, and they beat them 2-1. So yeah, not very good. I've now got Twitch working on my phone so that I can keep an eye on it. So if anybody does anything, I'll be able to see it right away. Just highlighting all the people that are there. Yeah, I think there is a very clear division between the best players and the first team and the second team, because we saw in the most of the game what happens when you go back and play the players that we were playing for ages, and we had that terrible run, and then when we had the likes of, like you're saying, Tierney on the left-hand side, and who else? I think Elneny was having a really good game, pulling all the strings, getting the ball from the defence, passing it out and about around everybody. Near the end of the game, he was a bit knackered and he was having a few loose balls. But it was nice to see him doing that. But we saw that the Willian, Pepe, Aubameyang to a certain extent until the others came on and made him look good, which was important. Who else was there? I didn't realise Reiss Nelson only had 12 minutes. I knew that Martinelli got injured in the warm-up. The commentators were saying that he didn't. The warm-up wasn't looking too good anyway. He's looking a bit tentative, a little bit on. They didn't know what was wrong with him. Then he injured himself. So I knew someone had come in, but I didn't know who because I overslept as usual. And who else was in there that wasn't overly influential? Willock. And so we've seen those players that we've all played before in the terrible run, and we put them when then we have with 3 wins in a row, and then we start bringing those ones back in again, and we play shit again. So Arteta's got to realise that we can't. These players are just no good. But like you were saying, you can't rely on Tierney to do this week in, week out, and the same with Saka and with Smith Rowe, because these players. It's not like the old days where you use 14 players in a season. There's so many games and there's so many pressures on the players. You've got to give them a rest. And so just looking at our upcoming fixtures, we have got Crystal Palace on Thursday. And then we've got Newcastle again on, I did write these down, Saturday. Because we're playing Thursday, Monday, Tuesday, Saturday, just to make life easy. So there are going to be some chances to be rested. Crystal Palace are a half decent team. I think we're at home to Newcastle in the Premier League. We can rest a few players there. Away to Southampton, we can't. Then we're home to Man United, and then we're away to Villa, Wolves, and then away to Villa. So we've got a run of games now where we really do need to have our best players playing. So having a game going into extra time like that, that's done us absolutely no favours. But 3 clean sheets in a row, 4 wins in a row, we can't grumble, can we?
No, I think this team has had a massive turnaround, and credit has to go to the players that have come into the squad. Like you said, Danny, when we was playing the likes of Aubameyang with Willian, it wasn't good, and Pepe it just wasn't good because we wasn't creating anything. And I think today was a game where those fringe players, the likes of Pepe, the likes of maybe Willock and the likes of Reiss Nelson was a kind of a shop window for Arteta to say, look at me. And I don't think any one of those impressed, not one of them. We'll talk about the individuals later, but I just think that there are certain players at this club that just not good enough, and we keep holding on to these players for sentiment, but it's time to maybe cut our losses and set up. We're going to have to, because we can't keep having players in this squad that are just not good enough. Like you said, Danny, we've got a strong running coming up, with Palace on Thursday, and Palace are no pushovers. Palace are not shit in the slightest, and we have to make sure that we're on our game, and we can't keep playing the same players week in, week out. I don't know if you saw in one of the groups that we was talking about, when do we rest Tierney? We have to rest him at some point. He cannot play. He played 120 minutes today, and he has played 90 minutes every single game for the last how many games? I don't know if you can find it, Danny. When's the last time he didn't start a game? I can't remember. So at the moment, he is someone that needs to rest, and maybe he gets rested on, I don't know, maybe when we play Newcastle again at home, maybe you do bring in Ainsley, Maitland-Niles, because at the moment you can't keep playing Tierney. You
ready for this? He played 90 minutes in the first game, missed the second game, and from League Game 3 to League Game 17, only once he didn't play the full 90 minutes, and that was against Leicester, and where he played left midfield, and he was taken off after 81 minutes. So he's virtually played the full 90 minutes for 16 out of 17 Premier League games and 14 in a row. But in the Europa League, he came off at 84, 74, 80 and 75, then missed the next 2. Yeah, so he's going to be knackered.
Yeah, and Tierney's not exactly the...
He doesn't stroll, doesn't do a Willian, does he?
No, no, not at all. He definitely plays the game at 100 miles an hour, and also, I'm not saying he's injury prone, but he's not the most, what's the word I'm looking for? The most robust player.
Yeah, he has been able to get a few injuries.
Yeah, he gets an injury, and he's not a person to be out for a week. If he gets an injury, he's out for about 3 weeks, a month, if not more. So, yeah, I think he's going to need a resting. He has to. It just has to. But some of these players that you've looked at today, I just don't hold any hope, Danny. Like, we'll talk about today's game. I think the first half for both teams was abysmal. I think it was absolutely shocking. I mean, you and I were talking, and you were saying you're making notes, and I was saying, on what? Pepe, shit. Willock gave the ball away. Like, it was just, it really was bad in the first half. And listen, I have to sort of flip it as well. Newcastle were playing with 5 at the back and had no intention of trying to even get out. They were literally...
Why would they?
It was like they were being coached by Jose Mourinho, like literally. But you're right. Why would they? Like they know that they can't attack us because we'll just hit them on a break. So, you know, they play to their their strengths. You know, they're gonna try and almost hit it as a rope-a-dope, isn't it? It's like soak up all the pressure and then see what happens. But we just could not break them down in the first half, no matter what we did. No matter if we went through the middle, went through the left, went through the right. I mean, there were a few chances that we had, but you know, when a team plays 5 at the back, it's very hard to try and break them down, and we just had no answers for them in the first half at all.
I did a wonderful tweet. I said at times Willian looks like a puppy chasing bubbles. It was just all over the place. No, Pepe, Willian wasn't chasing anything. What am I talking about? I need to go and say a couple of quick thank yous. There is Claudius has subscribed to his Amazon Prime. Very kind of you. Didn't you do it as well?
No. After this is finished, you're going to talk me through it.
Okie dokie. And then Zarud, Zarduk, Zarakil followed us 3 days ago. And Wise Dream Bear, they followed us as well. Plus Nazika did use their Amazon Prime for the second month a week ago. So, yeah, thank you very much to you lot. If you do want to use your Amazon Prime, I'm sure you know how. If you don't want to, then don't bother, because I can't say I blame you. So, yeah, loads of people in the chat. Quite busy. That's really good. So what was I going to do? I was going to go and have a look at my notes and see what I did. We've covered expectations. Martinelli in the warm-up. Starting, yeah, I made a note of starting Leno and Tierney. What does that say about our squad depth? A bit worrying, isn't it? Because we don't have another left-back and we don't have another goalkeeper, like you were saying.
This is why I think even in one of the groups, I think Femi was saying that the reason maybe why Ainsley Maitland-Niles wasn't coming on because he doesn't want to be cup-tied. We have to keep Ainsley Maitland-Niles because we do not have another left-back. So if, God forbid, anything happens to Tierney, Ainsley Maitland-Niles is the left-back. So I don't see Ainsley Maitland-Niles going anywhere in this transfer window at all. And if we did, we'd be very, very stupid because, like you said, we do not have another left-back at all, unless you're looking to play Saka there. And I think it's criminal if you play Saka at left-back because that takes away his attacking power. And let's face it, he's probably, well, he's our starting right attacker, isn't he? Because at the moment, he's miles ahead of Pepe and miles ahead of Willian. So, yeah, to play Saka at left-back, I think at the moment would be kind of sacrilege, to be honest. But Runnison as well, I don't know what kind of scouting they did on Runnison to think that he was going to be good. I mean, God forbid anything happens to Leno this season because we would be in the proverbial shitter. Let's just be honest, because Runnison is not good enough. He's not, 100% he's not. So we definitely, I can't see unless Marine beat that lot up the road tomorrow, and then we draw Marine in the next round. That's the only time I can see Runnison getting the game. Or we play Chorley. Shout out Chorley. They beat Derby today. I just can't see Runnison playing because even the likes of you and I, Danny, can look at him and just say he's nowhere near Arsenal quality. But then again, how many people in the squad are quote unquote Arsenal quality?
Not enough. We are showing that some of the kids are coming. Like we've been saying for ages, we know nothing. You were saying about Runnison, why did he come? Our new goalkeeping coach knew him from a previous life and he was cheap. and he wasn't even a starter for his French league team. Anyone who'd seen him play, he came into the French team. He was dropped after half a season, and this season he wasn't playing at all. But it was cheap. But then again, he's come in on 40 grand, allegedly 40 grand a week, which is madness. And now Matt Macy's gone on loan for the rest of. He's only got 6 months left on his contract with Arsenal, so he's gone to Hibs. He was only on about 9 grand a week. So I don't know if they've signed him permanently or just a short-term deal loan. Either way, I don't know. We never really know anything, do we? But that's how he ended up at the club. Some of the other points that I made, if you can, Carl, find the questions and cut them and paste them into our chat so that we can come onto those later. There's been quite a few decent ones and some terrible ones. Hello to everybody on Facebook. If you're watching us on any of the other platforms, go and say hello on Facebook. Go and give it a thumbs up. Because at the moment, we have an average listen on Facebook of 2. And I'm one of those. And it's quite lonely on there. What were your thoughts of Willian playing in the 10 and then later playing at left wing? I don't think at any point he did anything. He seems to be, when it gets really cold, I stop moving. And as a man from Brazil who's used to it being warm, do you think that maybe when it gets really cold, he's like me, he just turns into frozen sausages? Because he was terrible at his decision making was slow. His passing was slow. His first touch wasn't good. There was a couple of times where he'd have a chance and he'd go, what should I do here? I'll have a look round. In fact, at one point I made a note. At 32 minutes, Alba sets up Pepe, and yet again, just like Willian and Nelson, he takes too long to make up his mind and he gets tackled. Before that, up at Tierney down the left, turning people inside out, brilliant low cross, and Nelson falls over himself, and like Willian, takes too many touches and too long to take a shot. And then comes back to 24th minute, Luiz to Aubameyang. Aubameyang runs down the left brilliantly, has a shot, keeper parries it out to Willian, who takes a dozen touches, a cup of tea, wrote a book, and then put it over. Those 3 comments from the 24th to the 32nd minute just show my anger at Willian taking all day. And we've seen with the likes of Martinelli and Saka and Tierney, you don't have time to take 2 or 3 touches, have a look round. You've got to have an instinctive, I'm either going to give it to someone else when you're in the box, or you're going to have a whack and try and do something with it. Unless you're Pepe, then it doesn't matter which of those you do, it's going to go over or go wide. But his decision making of someone who is a proven international and a winner and a pro, what's he, 31 years old, coming up to 32 soon, like most 31-year-olds are. His decision making was horrendous. He takes so long to do nothing.
Are we having the Willian talk now? Okay, that's not it. Willian,
that's what they want.
Willian is shockingly bad, and I genuinely mean this. He is shockingly bad. He doesn't run. He gets the ball, he passes it, and whereas like Emile Smith-Rowe's goal, he got the ball, he tackled the guy, he passed it, and he carried on running, and he got into the box, chest down, scored. If that was Willian, he would have not carried on running. He would have stopped. Because I don't know if he's tired and if he's just old now. The Willian that we have now is not the Willian that was at Chelsea. And I don't know what.
How has he gone from one to the other in one pre-season?
Because maybe I have no idea. But the fact of the matter is, we ain't going to get rid of him. I was just having a word talking to Jace on Twitter. And I was saying, this is going to turn into another Ozil situation because he's not going to leave. Didn't he sign a 3-year contract, I believe?
3 years.
And
Wenger used to give him 1 year.
No, he's not gonna. Why would he leave? He knows this is his last contract, so he's not, or his last big contract. He's not going to leave. So we are now in another Ozil situation with Willian, where for the next 2 years he will happily just take his money. Of course, he's going to just take his money. Why would he not? And this is why I don't have a problem. Well, we're not talking about Ozil today, but why I don't have a problem with him, Ozil. Arsenal said, I will pay you X amount for this amount of years. Ozil said, okay. Then all of a sudden, Arsenal don't want to pay him X amount for that many years. Why should he leave? He doesn't have any need to. And the same thing is going to happen with Willian because he is not good enough. I don't think he's good enough to be a fringe player. And yes, I'm saying this after maybe 6 months of him being here, but he doesn't run. It's just like his boots are in mud. He gets the ball. Willian at Chelsea was really good. Let's be very honest. He was not okay. He was good because he used to find his little pockets of spaces. He used to pop up here, there, and everywhere. He'd be on the left, he'd be on the right, down the middle. He's just shockingly bad now. He doesn't see the passes that you're like. There was one, I think it was the first half, where he came in and he easily could have taken the shot with his right foot. He didn't. He let the ball bounce over to his left, and then he skied over the flipping
bar.
What have he done?
Over the stadium. What have I done? Oh, someone said, look at Ozil's post on Instagram. It says, having coffee with my love, or something like that, translated. It looks like he's in Turkey, doesn't it? I don't think that's his front room.
Oh, maybe not.
There you go. Someone said, look at it. So I did. Yeah, so you're saying, and he got it, and he put it over the bar? Over the stadium?
Yeah,
over the moon.
It went high, and you're like, I'm here sitting, why do you not take that with your right foot? Like, why did he need to put it on his left foot? Like, it's just really bad at the moment. And this is, I'm so happy that now, like the likes of Martinelli and Smith Rowe and Saka have come in, because they are now our first team. They are the first team strikers at the moment, or the first team front three, because at the moment you're looking at the likes of Willian and Pepe, and they are just not good enough. They're not. Pepe for me today was
18 months of being shit, Carl.
He's got to go as well. And Danny, question for you, just a quick question. Would you take 30 million for Pepe right now?
Yes, I would take any amount of money. He's broken. You know, like Mkhitaryan. Emery broke Mkhitaryan. Emery broke Torreira, Lucas, and now Pepe's broken. And you watch, these players will go off. Mkhitaryan is one of the best players at Roma, maybe even the top 10 players in Serie A for last season and this season. And he's so good, Roma have just offered him a new contract. Torreira is just magnificent. He's not really having much time. He's played about 12, 13 games for Atletico, mainly bit part player. But look what he was man of the match game after game, wasn't he, for us? And now Willian, he was magnificent for Lille. And people keep saying, use him the way he needs to be used. Well, there's at some point you're going to stop saying, like, if you're at work and they keep trying to get you to make everybody wooden furniture, at some point you're going to go, well, I'm not here to make wooden furniture. I can't keep making wooden furniture, and you're going to go and do your job that you're there to do. Eventually, Pepe has got to realise, if I'm being told to do something that is making me look bad, after 18 months, maybe, I know Arteta may not like it, but maybe occasionally just do what you want, son. Go out there and show people what you can do, because your career is on its fucking arse.
100%. I think he's...
Thank you.
Definitely. Pepe, the problem is Pepe has no right foot whatsoever. So for me, it becomes very easy to play against Pepe, because all you've got to do is don't let him come inside. And I know it's probably easier said than done, because, you know, he does these tricks and stuff, and he turns one way, turns the other.
He can't do what Saka does, where Saka can do it either foot and make you look like an idiot.
But this is the problem. Pepe always wants to come inside, so it then becomes very, very easy to play. I mean, if you're a manager, all you would tell, if you're man marking Pepe, you just say, just literally every time he tries to come, gets the ball, take a step to the left, because that's what he's going to do. So you're automatically pushing him to the right hand side, and he doesn't have a right foot. He wants to do another spin and come in. So it's very easy. You stand off him and take a step to the left. That's you literally man marked him out the game, and that's all you've got to do. Because no matter what,
lack of intelligence or a lack of confidence, or a bit of both.
Maybe a bit of both. It's a bit of both, because how can now you do the same thing over and over again? Now I can't see him remaining at the club for a long time, and we're going to take a massive loss on him. Huge loss. But
we're paying those bills whether he's here or not.
Yeah, but the thing is, I don't know who takes him. Does he go back to France? With France on its arse at the moment because of the lack of the TV deal, who takes Pepe? Do you put Pepe out to loan? You can't loan out Pepe. You paid 70-odd million for a player. You can't loan him out. So how do you solve a problem like Pepe? What do we actually do with him? For me, it was a bad buy, and I know Chris Trump. I call Chris Trump because obviously he's got him and Donald are the same. Lost their Twitter accounts, but
Our very own pirate Trump.
I know. But at the same time, like yes, in France he was brilliant. Well, that season we bought him, did he score like 24 goals? I want to say.
Yeah,
But,
most of them, half of them were penalties, but he was on fire.
But it just hasn't worked out for him. I mean, you gave him the first season. Everyone was like, "Oh, it's his first season. We'll see." Okay, but it's still the same. It's still exactly the same. The man has no, as a professional footballer, and he has no right foot whatsoever. So
who's going to look at him like you were saying and go, "Oh, I want him to come and play for my team"? No Premier League team. The only thing he's got is his time in France, and someone there go, well, we might have him on loan for the rest of the season. Meanwhile, we're paying, I think we've made a deposit, and then we're paying the rest over the next 4. I don't think it was 5 equal payments. Maybe it was a 30 million deposit and the other 42 million over the next 4 seasons. But either way, we'll be paying more for him every season than we'll get for a loan fee, because we're not getting a 10 million loan fee.
No, not at all. I don't. But the thing is, I just don't know anybody who looks at Pepe right now and says, "Do you know what? We'll take him." He is really. You're right when you say he's broken, and who's going to fix him? But the problem is, no matter how he goes, whether he goes on loan or whether he goes on, and let me make this clear, I don't think he goes on loan anywhere. You don't buy someone for 70-odd million and loan them out. And if we sell him, we're not getting more than 25 million for him, if that.
And then that will be overpayments. Chris Lodato puts, would never have guessed we won the game by the way you two are acting. Wait until 4 minutes before the end of the show. That's when we're going to start showing our excitement. Rudy, as always, has come in with some quality quotes. Cheers, Rudy. Arteta on Willian. I think he was improving. That's bullshit. He's been out as well because he was ill. He missed 2 weeks of training and football. Well, Arteta knows more than we do, so we're going to have to go with that, aren't we?
Indeed. I mean, I want every player to become good. I want Willian to show me up and be like, oh, I'm going to get a hat-trick against Crystal Palace. Well, I hope he doesn't play against Palace, but, or I'm going to play against Newcastle in the next game and do something good. But Willian hasn't shown me anything in the time that he's been at Arsenal for me to think, oh, he's really good. Pepe, the same. Pepe gets 1 goal here, 2 goals here, and everyone starts raving about him, and then he becomes shit for the next 6 or 7 games. But do you know what? Chris Lodato's right. We'll concentrate on the good things, and we'll talk about the second half. Now, Danny.
Hold on, before we go there, quote from our very own Simon Collings at SR_COLLINGS for all the best breaking news from Simon who works for the Standard. He says, Arteta on Martinelli. I was in my office before the game and one of the coaches came in and said that Gabby had hurt himself. He twisted his ankle. I went into the medical room and he was in tears. Twisted's okay. Not good.
Let's hope it's literally just a week out and back to normal. Let's hope. I mean, obviously he'll miss the Palace game, won't he? Definitely.
So that was all my notes. I made a note of 8, 24, 27, 32, basically moaning about Willian. So second half, take us, give us some of your thoughts.
It was very telling how early Emile Smith-Rowe came on. I think the manager had seen enough of. Was it Reece Nelson? Came? No, not Reece Nelson. It was. He came on for.
I'm just looking now. The first one to come on.
He came off Reece Nelson, didn't he?
Yep, 56 minutes. There you go.
Yeah. So for me, that's telling how early he came on, because I think
it wasn't working.
Reece Nelson didn't have a good game, to be honest. He gave the ball away a lot. And his passing just wasn't there. It seems like he's trying to do a little bit too much. So I think it was the right choice. I think when we saw him warming up, I think it was either going to be Willock or Nelson, and it just came to be Nelson, to be honest. And yeah, Emile Smith-Rowe came on, and the game kind of changed because we had a runner, and that's what we needed. We needed someone who would get the ball, pass it, and then carry on running. We just didn't have that when we played Nelson and Willian. And then Willian came off for... Who did Willian come off for?
Willian
Saka.
came 66th minute for Saka.
Yeah.
Again, and Xhaka on for Willock and
that's what the game
didn't
changed. Even Xhaka coming on, and I'll be very honest with you, I've been one of Xhaka's critics, but he definitely changed the game. I think he, more than anyone, changed the game because there was someone in the midfield who was getting the ball and he was actually passing it forwards for once. And I think that's what we needed. We needed someone to try and take charge in the midfield. I mean, Elneny and Willock, the midfield too, was never going to work, was it? Let's be honest with you. Even no matter who we played, Willock was, again, not very good. And we'll talk about those two in a second as well, because I think Nelson and Willock both need loans where they play week in, week out somewhere. Even if it's in the Championship, I think they need to go somewhere.
Good enough for not a team struggling against relegation, not a Sheffield United or a West Brom in the Premier League, but a team in the South, maybe the Midlands, that are mid-table. Someone like Southampton, maybe a team that's going to play.
They was against Southampton's team. Neither Willock or Nelson are getting to Southampton's team. No way. No way. You need... Maybe they do need to go to a Sheffield United where they're going to play week in, week out and get used to the rough and tumble. Yes, it's going to be different quality. They're not going to be sort of zipping it around and getting them passes around, but maybe they just need to get playing. And once they get playing, yeah, I mean, I would send them even to maybe a Crystal Palace. I think...
Everything with us is Crystal Palace. They're just a good football playing side. And we've remind me to ask our WhatsApp group. We've got a Crystal Palace podcast that sent us 10 questions to ask, and so we've got a reply to all 10.
All right, no worries.
I forgot to tell everyone. Rudy's got another quote. Cheers. Rudy did actually do the one I said was from Simon. So, Rudy, keep the quotes coming in. I didn't see there was a second one. Rudy says, Arteta on party. There's too many E's and A's there. It confuses me. We assessed the situation and how much training he's done, and he was a little bit short. He's feeling really good at the moment. What a difference that's going to make when he comes back. Are you excited?
Yeah, I mean... I'd love to know who he's going to play. I think if he's going to play Xhaka and Partey in the middle, I think that's going to be an interesting combination because I still think they're maybe a little bit similar. But do you know what? I think with Partey in the middle, then you've got Saka, Emile Smith-Rowe, Martinelli up front, and a rejuvenated Lacazette. You know, who knows? I'm interested to see, and I really can't wait for it to happen. I think that once we get our quote-unquote full squad back, we'll see, and whatever additions we make in January, we'll see in it. But Danny, question about the game. How worried were you when Emile Smith-Rowe got that red card? I mean, the Newcastle player, he screamed like flipping he'd been
like a small child.
Come on, that was ridiculous. But I was worried. When you first looked at it, I thought, shit, that looks like a red card. And then as soon as I saw the replay, I was like, nope, not in a month for Sundays was that a red card. Do you think the referee gave the red card based on the Newcastle player's reaction? Because he
slightly.
It can't have been for the foul because he didn't see the foul properly.
Hold on, Rudy. I think this is the rest of another quote from Rudy. He says, he maybe about Partey. He listens to us experienced players a lot, and he's so important to us. You can see how many balls he recovers, how many key balls he plays at the front. I didn't think. I knew there was something up with it when Smith-Rowe just stood there. He didn't normally. A player, when they get sent off, will be angry, or they'll go and argue with the ref, or they'll walk off. He didn't. He just stood there and went, "Oh, I can't lift my hands up high enough because I'm all knackered." But he just stood there looking at the ref. And then our players came over, and Mari put his hands behind. I call him Mari and Mari. Pablo put his hands behind his back and was quiet about it. And they all gathered around the referee. And then, because I think at one of the other FA Cup games there was no VAR, and I just automatically assumed there was no VAR today. And then it turns out there was a VAR, and he went and checked it.
bar Premier League games, Premier League ground. Sorry.
Yeah. So he went and checked it, rightly so, and he changed his decision. I don't even think it was a yellow because he barely made any kind of contact with him. But it has to be because, like in the old days, you could dive and get penalties and get your people sent off. And well done to the referee. You didn't have to go and look at VAR, or you could have gone no and been an ignorant twat. But since the referee's got so much grief for not looking at the screen, you went and did it. And all credit to the referee. Well done. What do you think?
I'm not the biggest fan of VAR. I'd
get rid of it. Fuck it
I
off.
really don't like it. But credit where credit's due. The referee knew that he looked at the screen and saw that he made a clear and obvious error, and he changed it. Like you said, Danny, I don't think it was even a yellow card, but I think it's one of those yellow cards I had to give it because it was a red. I don't want to seem to be a dickhead, but my issue is he made the decision to send him off based on the Newcastle players' reaction, and the Newcastle players' reaction was so over the top. It was just
they hadn't come to play football, had they? So any chance they could get to make the game a bit more even for them, they were going to take.
I mean, yeah, and then we also had a penalty decision with Aubameyang. What did you think about that?
Definite penalty. Again, the referee, I think while they were doing it, because the feed I was watching, I've got two of those IPTVs, and luckily it's on BBC, and one of them is a minute and a half behind the other. So I had both of them going. So I'd have the main one going, I'd see it, because the replays are usually so shit and short, or they don't do them. I'd then go and have a look at the other one, and then I'd be able to know what's coming up, and I'd go and watch it again. And I'm sure they said, while I was watching the old one, that VAR has reviewed it, and it wasn't a penalty. Well, it bloody was, because the player, he ran between the two players, and the player to his left, as we were looking at it to our right, he put his left foot backwards, and his heel tripped up Aubameyang. Definite penalty. But they did say later that it wasn't intentional. So, ABW when it comes to the rules, I'm sure if Datac is in there, she'll put us right. But like with the throw-ins and things. But from someone who has never read the football rule book, I'd say penalty. Carl?
I agree. I thought it was a penalty. I've seen Man United get penalty for Leicester. I mean, Pogba tripped over his own feet last week and got a penalty. So, yeah, for me, it was a penalty, 100%. Towards the end of the game, Danny, we almost got scared, didn't we? Newcastle, Andy Carroll nearly scored.
The Leno triple save. Actually, I'm going to go and have a look and see what rating they gave Leno, because Leno should have got a 9 out of 10 rating for that game, just for that triple save. He's done bugger all. He's not had to do anything. He got a 7.1. So if you've got Leno, it doesn't count in the fantasy football, does it? Because that's 3 saves. That would have been 3 instant points. No, most of the people in our fantasy football have all got Spurs and Man United players in their teams and level because they're scumbags. But what a save! What reactions! That just shows how good Leno is, doesn't it?
Would I have taken Emmy over Leno? Hindsight's a wonderful thing, but I genuinely would have kept Martinez over Leno. But that's hindsight, and it's.
He did have a run with Villa where they let in like 12 goals in 5 games or something like that. He's not been magnificent. Sometimes he's played really well, and the other times he's just played average. But we haven't got the money to have 2 players that both. No.
We needed to listen. We got 20 million for a second choice goalkeeper. You couldn't a year ago.
A year before that, we'd have got 1 million for. So we can't really grumble. But the only way I'd have seen Leno go and Martinez stay is if we could have got 40 million for Leno and 20 million for Martinez. Then I'd have said, well, sell Leno. Because Martinez has been at the club. It's his boyhood club. He's been here since he was, 18, 17, something like that.
Yeah, it was one of those things. But that save was absolutely brilliant. And I think it was a mixture of poor defending as well. Again, a better player would have scored that. Unfortunately, and we was very, very lucky. Very, very lucky. That he's managed to put off, and they say it's Andy Carroll, the 35 million wonder. He should have. I mean, could you imagine if we had Andy Carroll in our team with Tierney putting them all those crosses?
We'd win every game night. Well, for the first half hour, we'd score a load of goals.
We'd win every game. But yeah, in all seriousness, do you know what? If I was a Newcastle supporter, I'd be really pissed because there's no way he shouldn't have put that in the back of the net. No way. Let's be honest, if you're a striker, you should be scoring that. But, thanks to our wonderful goalkeeper, Leno, it was a brilliant save and kept us in the game. And the game went to extra time. And even then, I was thinking, it's definitely going to penalties, isn't it? This is ridiculous. And I was just annoyed that we was playing extra time because our players, the fixtures are thick and fast, and even just playing extra half an hour takes its toll on players, definitely.
Which what we don't need when we've only got a few really good players in those positions, and a run of all these games coming up. You're right. Yeah,
it was just ridiculous. But in extra time, it's almost like the game came to life, didn't it? It's almost like that's when they started to play, and thank God we started to break them down a little bit. I think, and that was due to again, I can't believe I'm saying this, but Granit Xhaka literally controlling the midfield and playing the balls down the line and getting the ball quickly to sort of the front players, and they were applying pressure sort of just beyond the Newcastle area, because that's how our goal came. We applied pressure. I can't remember who it was, but lost the ball, and Emile Smith-Rowe brilliantly didn't stop running, managed to get the goal. And I think even Lacazette coming on definitely also changed the game. I mean, our Josh, he even said it: if Lacazette comes on, we win the game. And I think that's what we needed, that link-up play in the middle, someone who calm chaos. You remember when Sonogo came on in the cup final and he just created havoc? I think that's what we needed. We needed somebody who could just come on and get that little link-up play. And I think it was brilliant what he did. Like I said, because he definitely got that flick on. He deserves to get the assist bonus because obviously, it's a poor footballer. He needs it. And Emile Smith-Rowe, brilliant finish as well. I thought it was a very good finish. What did you think, Danny?
Carnage says that you said that Partey and Xhaka are similar, and they want to know if you're high and drunk. I don't think Carl does drugs, and I don't think he gets drunk. So
no, I answer the question, then I'll answer that question later.
What was the question you asked me? I was reading the thing.
What did you think of the first goal?
My notes for the first goal were, what minute was it? What minute was it? I'm going to have to go and look at it because I've got so many notes. Right, here we go, the game. And the goal was in the 100, that's why I can't find it, in the 109th minute. So what's that going to work out as? They're not there, Pepe on. A great one. I can't find the goal. Makes it 2 saves. No, that was the red card. No, Mary brought touches. See, I've just gone and done the minutes in like the 8th minute of extra time. So it would have been. I've put Mary ball out of the defence in our own half to the feet of Pepe, who yet again takes. No, that's not it. I can't remember the first goal. Is it Saka? Was it Smith to Lacazette to Saka? Saka back to Smith, and then he scores from a very narrow angle. Great work.
Yeah, so the Newcastle guy loses the ball. Smith-Rowe gets the ball.
Yes. Oh, it's all on the left-hand side, wasn't it? It was like, yeah, so a lot of running, a lot of passing back and a few 1-2s, and then a very narrow angled shot into the bottom left-hand corner. It hit the post as it went in, didn't it? There you go. I'm 50 years old, people, and I'm high on Sudafed, so you have to forgive me. And I'm running 5 different browsers and 3 different apps. So I'm working very busy. Magnificent. Yeah, it just shows what a difference when... If Aubameyang would have been playing in the centre there, I think Aubameyang's reactions at the moment are too slow. Lacazette has just come on, and Lacazette is in an amazing run of form to get involved in that and to have... that is yet another really good goal. And when we have these players who want to play, the younger players, and you put Lacazette in with them, this is the kind of thing that happens. We've seen those brilliant goals against West Brom and the 2 goals tonight. Both brilliant goals, well played, working down the left-hand side. Tierney selling people dummies like he's working at Mothercare. I think I've read that as a tweet somewhere, although Mothercare's shut down. So it's just brilliant. And all these players, they all want to attack. They all want to do well. And for Tierney, so that was the 109th minute, to still be able to run down there, turn someone inside out, and have the wherewithal about him to pass it back to someone else and set up the goal. You just watched that, and I just sat back and I applauded, and I thought, this is what we can do when the right players with the right attitude are playing and they want to win. And I was delighted. You?
Yeah, I mean, the Aubameyang goal was exactly that. I mean, when someone can make that sort of run that deep into the game, you think to yourself, what is he drinking? All the iron brew that he's drinking is coming to use. But yeah, it's just brilliant. And Aubameyang being in the right place at the right time, that's what you want from your striker. That's exactly the sort of goal that you want him to score. And again, that could be a confidence booster. That could be the goal that sparks him into the form of late last season when he was our savior. Let's be honest. He was just literally saving us so much. And for me, like you said, when you've got the right players around him, I mean, Arteta now knows he's got a first team and a second team. The first team is definitely Martinelli, Saka, and Emile Smith-Rowe. They've played themselves into the starting lineup for Arsenal, and the likes of Pepe and Willian have a lot to do to get back into this team because they're just at the moment not really good enough. So
formerly knows, but Lacazette, Saka and Smith-Rowe are playing with the same wavelength at the moment. It was almost like peak Giroud, Ozil, Sanchez, when you could see all 3 of them were working together and the goals were flowing. This now, unlike then, we got a decent goalkeeper and decent defenders. And I think Mari needs that ball that he did where he dropped it from just outside of halfway into our own half over the entire of their defence onto the feet of Aubameyang, I think it was. And then I think it was going a little bit too fast and Aubameyang couldn't keep up with it and he had a shot and put it wide. That him and Luiz are able to do balls like that. So I think Mari had a really good game as well. It's great to see players playing in the right positions with confidence. I love it. I know we're going back on that, and it's not what we're currently talking about.
But we've got one of those good problems because when Gabriel comes back in, we can only have one left-footed centre back. So we've got Mari and Gabriel, right there. I think at the moment I personally would. You got to keep your informed players in the squad, and that's just me. So. For me, even when Gabriel does come back, and I think he may be back for the Crystal Palace game on Thursday, you've got to keep Mari in the squad because at the moment he's playing well. He's playing well enough to keep his place. And if so happens that he drops form, then okay, you take him out. But you keep your informed players in. Just because someone is back from injury and they were a starter, you've got to keep the players that are playing well. So at the moment, you are going to play Mari, you are going to play Tierney, you are going to play Lacazette, and at the moment, Xhaka, because he's in form at the moment, and Saka, and Smith-Rowe, and, Martinelli when he comes back. I mean, I can't see Martinelli playing the Newcastle, the Crystal Palace game, so you're probably looking at Willian on the right again. And let's hope that, let's be honest, it probably will be Willian. Unless he'll probably play Aubameyang on the left, Saka on the right, Emile Smith-Rowe in the middle, and they'll play Lacazette up front. So maybe we might escape Willian playing. But yeah, and there, Danny, we're into the 4th round. We are.
Did we talk about the second goal?
We did. You got it mixed up. You got the first and the second goal mixed up.
I certainly did. I just remembered now. I'm doing so many different things. Someone said we've got subtitles on our Facebook.
Subtitles?
Oh, there we go. Phil McHenry says we've got subtitles. Must be automatically generated. Good luck with my pronunciations. Richard Morris says, am I too late? Never too late, Richard. It's good to have you. And also, Mr. Waffles, David, you're a very bad man. You should know we're live. Sort your life out.
Danny, we're into the next round. I mean, we haven't got a third round exit. We still able to defend our trophy at the moment. If he does go on to win the FA Cup this season, don't matter about who we beat, but if he does win the FA Cup this season and we finish, I don't know where we are now in the table, 11th, I want to say.
Something like that.
Would you describe it as a good season?
I'm just going to check where we are in the table. We are currently 11th and we are only 6 points away from 4th. Just looking in the FA Cup, who is out? Crystal Palace are out. Aston Villa are out. Premier League teams that are out that might give us some kind of grief. Sheffield United got through. Leicester got through. Fulham got through. West Brom are out. Got beat by Blackpool. Newcastle are out. They got beat by us. Middlesbrough, it's been beaten by Brentford. Decent team. Southampton was postponed. Tomorrow, I don't think there's any. No, there's no more big teams that can go out. So,
and Chelsea play on Monday, aren't they?
I've certainly gone up to. West Ham's playing on Monday against Stockport. That's what I've got here. So it doesn't go any further than that. Chelsea playing at home to Morecambe. I don't think Morecambe are going to do anybody any favours. Then they're going with Fat Frank. You never know.
Maybe not playing Watford.
So your question is, would I consider it a good season if we won the FA Cup? We don't need to win the FA Cup. He's won a trophy. I think he needs to concentrate on getting in. I'm not sure if this team's ready for Champions League football, but we do, because there's two ways to get in. You've got top four, which is Liverpool, Man United, and Man City. You're going to finish top three. Everyone at fourth place in there is up for grabs. And then we've got Benfica in the Europa League. Benfica, they're a half-decent side. The way we're playing with the right players, we can go there and get through to the next round. So I'm not so overly bothered about the FA Cup games. I'm more concerned about getting further up the table and further in the Europa League. But have we got the investment and the players so that we can do well in the Champions League next season? Because that is a hell of a jump from the team that has struggled like we have from first half of this season to being able to compete in the Champions League. That is not something. That is a step too far for us. So I mean,
obviously, if you do get into, we'll talk about this more on the pod. So, but if we do get to the Champions League, investment has to be made. I think investment has to be made in January.
But no money coming from ticket sales or match day stuff. That's going to severely hamper our ability to get players.
It's definitely going to hurt. It's definitely going to hurt us. But we'll talk about this more in the pod. But I'm happy that we're through to the next round. Let's hopefully see if we can win our 15th FA Cup. We'll see what happens.
Zoidberg agrees. Zoidberg says number 15 incoming.
Yes, let's hope. Danny, I'll let you read the questions, but let's hope that we actually do get to see our team lift the cup again, because everyone loves a trophy, even if it's just the FA Cup. Everyone loves a trophy, and it's a good day out. Well, not that there'll be any fans in the stadium, but it's just. It brings Arsenal fans together. I mean, Arsenal fans are always sort of split on some sort of issue, and let's just hope that Arteta can lead us. Let's play. I really want Tottenham in the final, and we spank them. That's the dream, isn't it?
I'd like to be at Flyco, and that's also not going to happen. Now, Mordecai661 says, I'm not an Arsenal fan, but curious of the current view of Arteta. Well, who do you support, Mordecai? We are accepting of all fans here, so I don't care who you support. Just let us know. Current view of Arteta, Carl?
He's doing a job at the moment. I mean, I think the last time I was on with Chris and yourself, and I think we were saying that if he loses to Brighton, he's gone, and he managed to get a win. Oh no, we said if he loses to Chelsea and Brighton, didn't we? We said he's gone, and he managed to beat Chelsea and beat Brighton. So, you know, we've won 4 games in a row now, and that's something that no one could say at all. Do you know, I didn't know this. Do you know there's no team in the Premier League this season, I believe, who's won, is it 5 games in a row yet? No team has done that, which is very
not
weird.
surprised. Not surprised because it's oh, here you go. Look, Mister. Why you they look at them, bless them. They're he's asterixing out the S word. That's good of you. Doesn't asterisk out your swear words though. Yeah, but fuck Spurs. And Richard also says spank Spurs. Yeah, please. I wouldn't really want to take the risk of doing that. I'm happy with Arteta.
Very happy. At the end of the day, he's working within his means. I mean, he wasn't picking the right players. Just be honest with you, because when he was picking Willian and Pepe week in, week out, you and I could see that it wasn't working. But I don't know if he didn't think he could trust the players, the youngsters, and it was only because the more experienced players were sick with COVID, I believe, that he had to throw in the youngsters. And you know, we managed to turn. I can't remember who the game was against, where he literally, we threw them in, and it was like, oh, they're not too bad, are they? Let me play them again. Oh, they're really still not too bad. So, you know, he's got to. We've got to try and back him in the January. We need definitely another
match against Chelsea.
I think it was Chelsea where we had to play them, and we ended up beating them.
Which nobody expected, because that was after our run of 3 defeats in 4. Or was it 4 defeats in 5? I can never remember, but I'm sure it's a Chelsea game. And then he thought, fuck it. Everyone expects me to lose this. Chuck the bows in, see how we get on. And how do we get on? You beat them.
So, yeah, and this is what we need to do. He now trusts the kids. But like you said, I think that we need some investment. And whoever that is, I don't know. I can't name your names at the moment, but we'll probably talk about it on the pod. I keep saying this, but Arteta at the moment is doing the job that he's doing. At the moment, he's winning games. No manager's going to win every single game of a season, and there's going to be blips. And I just hope that Arsenal have had their blip, and now we can focus on trying to climb up that table. We're going to lose another game between now and the end of the season. We know we will, and it's very, very obvious. I just don't want the meltdown to happen. I don't want our sort of heads to drop. I want us to just think, okay, this is one game. We can go on and win the next game.
Because the kids can't save us forever. But Julian Salmondo from Argentina this week, I think he is. He might even be in wearing a hat. I think he might be. He says, I think the youngsters saved his job. I think you're right too. And Yvonne says, Divune, only thing that bothers me about Arteta is Willian. Well, he wanted him and he's got him, and can't really dump a player after 6 months, although he needs to. David Keith, if Arteta sticks with the kids, we will be okay. Mr. Waffles is agreeing with Julian. Bumlick. Matt Roberts, I can put a word into someone at Marine if you know would like another lasagna. I should read these before I highlight them, shouldn't I? I trust Carnage to say something nice. Martinelli and Smith Rowe were injured earlier in the season, thus Arteta couldn't pick them. Yeah, we know that. Nishan says Emile Smith Rowe is a breath of fresh air rather than a farty air that Willian is. Mordecai is a Liverpool fan. He says, but this season is crazy. The Everton game screwed our season. Thiago and Van Dijk injury. Yeah, I'm surprised that Liverpool haven't gone out and spent, because other than Van Dijk, they really didn't have a really good centre-back. You've got Gomez there, and you've got one other one. But neither of those are top quality. They're kind of Mustafi and... who's the other one that we could say? I'm trying. We've got so many of them. Maybe a Chambers. They're those kind of level defenders. And when you are probably the best team in Europe, maybe the world, you would expect, what's it now, the 9th of January, and Liverpool haven't gone out and spent £50 million on a centre-back that they would have had to buy anyway, because they really need someone of top quality to partner Van Dijk. Now Van Dijk is out. I'd have thought January the 1st, the stroke of midnight, that Kloppo would have had someone in. Don't you, Carl?
Yeah, but maybe like every other team, they can't. I think a lot of teams are suffering this financial crisis than you think. I mean, I know we just taken that 120 million pound loan, and I
applied for one of those. They told me to get fucked.
Yeah, I'm not surprised, Danny. And I think Tottenham have done exactly the same, and I think you'll see other clubs doing it as well, because I think having no fans in the stadium is really, really affecting.
2 million a game for us, wasn't it?
Really, yeah. You literally talk. If you're talking, you've got 19 guaranteed home games at 2 million a pop. Do you know what I mean? It's a lot of money, and I think no matter how rich your owners are, and let's face it, we got a billionaire owner. He still can't support Arsenal the way. I mean, he didn't want to invest in Arsenal anyway. But even worse now, you just can't do it, because if you, I don't want to go into too much details. I think
he wants it to be a self-sustaining model.
Yeah, and
he's already dipped once for party, and he ain't going to do it again.
Yeah, you can't do that if you don't have any money. Businesses, like, you got to have money coming in to have money going out. If you've got nothing coming in, you can't. And you've got only things going out. Clearly, it's not the right business model, and you don't get to be a billionaire with just spending money. You know, that's the facts in the matter. So, yeah, at the moment, it's very dire at the moment, football, because I can't see football fans going back into the stadiums this season.
Well, that makes me sad, because I can't meet you again.
When would I see you again? Will I have to
sing along, everyone?
I just don't see it. I can't. The way the pandemic is at the moment, I wouldn't see football fans going back into the stadiums this season. Just can't see it. And depending when we are next summer, because anyway, it's politics. I don't trust this government, to be honest. But
I wouldn't trust them to change my opinions.
I don't want to go into it, but yeah, I think
that's the whole show all on its own.
I think we have a long wait before we see football fans, even half full. Even when this silly tiering system stops, it soon will be, thousands people in the stadiums, and then who to say that you won't be having a vaccine passport to say you can only come into the ground if you've had the coronavirus vaccine. Do you know what I mean? I can see that happening as well. So who to say when that's going to happen? But yeah, it's one of those things. It's I just can't. Yeah, football fans at the moment, we won't be in the stadiums for this season, not at all.
Sai Anvesh has tickled us. He's given a little tickle under the chin and said if we win the next game, he's going to subscribe to our Twitch. I hope you mean with a prime, not actual cash. Don't give us cash. We don't deserve cash. He says, can you guys do player ratings? Is that something? Would you like to do that?
We could rate the players.
Okay, right. We'll start off and everybody join in. Here we go. There's somebody new. DHRUV. I think that's a Ramani. Dhruv.
Just say Ramani. I think that's the.
I'm not going to get that right. If you want to put it in like Divyun, he put his in phonetically. He put it in, and I will say it correctly. Do you reckon Gabriel will come straight into the team to replace Mari, or can we go with two left-footed centre-backs with Gabriel, Mari at the back? I think it's going to be Holding and Gabriel, but there's so many games that I think Mari isn't going to get the hump because there's enough games for everybody to get time, isn't there?
Yeah, I mean, I honestly think that I don't think Gabriel should come straight into the squad, but I know he will. I think, like I said, I think you've got to play your in-form players. If someone's playing really, really well, you keep them in the squad until they don't play well. Like you said, there's going to be loads and loads of games coming up that everyone's going to need a rest at some point. It's 100%. It's going to be needed. So for me, against Crystal Palace, our next game, I would stick with Mari and Holding.
All right, we've also this Daniel was in Tom's chat, and Tom got his surname right straight away. Oddly, German sounding names and Japanese sounding names I'm quite good at. So it's Daniel Schuldenfrei. How can I do that? And Scandinavian sounding names, especially Finnish. So I saw you in Tom's chat earlier, and he says, "Can't we just give Willian back to Chelsea?" If only we could, Daniel. If only.
Don't you think that even though we got him for free, Chelsea still got the better end of the deal?
Mordecai has actually followed our Twitch. Thank you very much, Mordecai. And Rinat Sahab says, "Good evening, everybody." Mordecai, we're going to get to the player ratings in a minute. I'm just trying to get through your comments. Mordecai says, LFC owners are smart spenders. They won't buy players for overpriced wages, especially when teams know they can jam prices up. When you're the best team in the world, people are going to go, "Oh, that player we want 20 million for, you can have him for 40. And we want it all up front." God, jeez, this is Stefan Herringtonio, Romance and Gothic Writings. If you have a book, feel free to put it in the chat, even if it's a little bit saucy. Says, Stefan shouldn't laugh, but I did, but still don't like seeing players hurt. Oh, because Stefan said, go break a leg, Marine. Well, it's Spurs, so fuck them. And Phil Macker has put, "Christ, how much Lacazette is paying you, Danny Boyle?" Well, they're not paying me anything. In fact, Sudafed and Lacazette are what's keeping me going. Mordecai says, Kroenke spent too much money on the LA Rams Stadium, $1.3 billion. Oh, that's a lot.
But he thought you'd get that back, didn't he? Obviously, if that stadium's full, with people buying tickets and buying hot dogs and whatever else the Americans eat, like sticks of butter, like
corn dogs. Wrong.
Obviously, he thought that stadium he'd make his money back probably within maybe 5 years. But obviously now, with the coronavirus pandemic, it's not going to happen.
We've got another follower on our Twitch. Solid SOLID. Oh, so I thought it said Solid Squid. It's not. It's Solid Liquid 78. Hello to you and Mordecai. Drew Romani has said he pronounced it Drew. There you go. Right. Zoid is getting angry. Look at him. He's banging in the ratings. So we'll start off with Leno. What's your rating for Leno, Carl?
I would give him a 8.9.
Oh, cheeky. I would give him an 8. It didn't really have much to do in the game, and when he did it perfectly. See what else people are. Zoidberg has gone and done all the team already. So look at people. Dark Clown. Oh, yeah. Leno gets a 1. Dark Clown. You've been a clown about this. Come on, people. Divyun has said an 8. Daniel has given him a 9. Stefan a 7.5. K-Man has given him an 8. Here we go. Mr. Waffles, who is I think he's in Portland. I've seen a few pictures in your house. It always looks like it's dark and rainy, that kind of area. He says on American Sports, piss-flavoured beer, nachos with yellow rubbery cheese like slime. That's what you eat in NFL games. Dark Clown says he gets a 1 because he is number 1. Fair enough. Data. What was the rule, the FA rule that we were asking about? Because Data will know the answer to that. I said if you were here, what was the answer? Because we have no idea. Anyway, someone might remind us what it was. Data's given him a 7, and then she says, no, an 8. What rule? I don't know. Someone in the chat, we were talking about the FA rules, that we always get them wrong. If Data was here, she'd know. Richard gives Leno a 9. Come on, people. We were talking about the FA rules on something. Oh, on the penalty. Yes, if it wasn't because when the player brought down Leno, the player caught him with his trailing right foot that was behind the player, and the commentators said it wasn't intentional, so it might not have been a penalty. I said it was a penalty, but I don't know the rules, and Carl agreed. So, Data, maybe you know, it wasn't intentional because it was his trailing leg that brought down Aubameyang. So let us know what you think to that. Noza has given Leno an 8. That's very good. Okay. No more. Right, we're going to move on to the right back, which was Cedric Soares. I'm going to give him a 7, Carl, because I think he did some decent work down that right-hand side. He looks at times like he's more of a right-wing back than a right back, but when you're playing 2 centre-backs, you need to be more of a right back, don't you?
Yeah, he wasn't brilliant, but he wasn't bad. So same with you. I'll give him a 7.
Datax says the Alba foul was surely a penalty in her honest opinion, and Data knows the rules. So there you go. And Drew has given, well, I think keep coming back to Drew's one, has given Cedric 5. Oh, Drew. Saucy. K-Man a 4. Sai, who told us to do this and take fucking hours, a 5. Daniel a 6.5. Stefan a 6. Noza has put a 6.5 with Nissan. Nissan Cedric. There may well be a car in Japan called a Nissan Cedric. I watch a bloke from Australia called Rob CDE, and he lives in Tokyo. He's married a Chinese bird there called Tracy, and every night he goes on his bike and he rides around Tokyo, and I am hypnotized. I was awake till 9:30 this morning watching him in bed. Data says Cedric sucks. Devyun gives him a 5. Richard a 5. Elneny says Data says Elneny was good. I thought Elneny was good. Some really good through balls. A little bit tired towards the end. Right, so the next one we're going to do is the right-sided centre-back was Luiz. Carl, what are you going to give Luiz?
Firstly, we have to work through these a little bit quicker than we are doing them.
Here we do.
And I would give Luiz a 7. He wasn't bad. He wasn't good. He was an average.
Yeah, first game back, I'll give him a 7 as well. We're going to read out the first 3 ratings that you lot give him. K-Man 7, Sai gives him a 6, and the last one I'm going to give a rating to was Daniel gives him a 7. Right, next one, Mari. I'm going to give Mari an 8. I don't do fractions. It's too complicated. I'm going to give him an 8. I thought he's a really good player. And that ball that he did over the entire field to the feet of Aubameyang, magnificent.
I would 7 again. I just don't think he was
hard to please.
He done nothing outstanding that he deserved an 8 for. So a 7. He's did his job properly.
There we go. I'm just going to highlight the ones that have done it. Mari only a 6, Daytag. The next one, Tierney. Is there even any point? We'll start off with David Keefe giving him a 10. I'm giving him a 10 just because he's brilliant. I'll give him 11 if I could. He's magnificent. He's my favourite player at the club at the moment, him and Lacazette. Does anybody not give him a 10? Show yourselves.
Me, because no player is actually perfect enough to get a hat-trick, so I give him a 9.
God, horrible, man. Kaiser has joined in with he's one of our subscribers on Twitch. Hello. Did we talk about the Smith Rowe red card? Yes, we did. And we come to the conclusion, or I did, that as he stood there and didn't walk off or complain, there was just confusion all round and it wasn't a red card. Sai says, who invented this, he gets man of the match. Stefan says a 9. Datax says a 9. And Daniel gives him 500. And Mr. Waffles gives him a 10. And Richard gives Tierney 20. And Drew gives Katie over 9,000. Not sure how that works. On midfield, let's go with Pepe. I'm going to give Pepe a 2. Rubbish.
Yeah, he gets a 3 from me.
Cricketsy has put a left back needing a hat trick for a 10 sounds like a PES rating system. Yes, so people's ratings for Pepe, go and put them in the chat and I'll highlight them. On the other side, Willian, I'm giving him a 0. What are you giving him?
Willian gets a 2. I think he gets a 2. Just no good whatsoever.
Terrible. Oh, look, my brother's in the chat. Mum did say hello, but I said no and sent her to the garden. Poor old Moogie. It's her birthday soon. It's going to be 77, to be sure. Ah, potato. Richard Morris has given Pepe 1 million because I have his shirt. God knows he doesn't need it. I'm losing track of. You can just put your own things in. We're running out of. And who else have we got in the?
Elneny.
Elneny. I'm going to give Elneny a solid 7.5. I've broken my own rules.
I said you don't do fractions.
I know. I've broken it.
Fucking weirdo. I would give him a 7 as well. I think he was okay.
And then Nelson, I'm going to give Nelson a 6. I would deserved a 5, but a 6 because he only had 12 minutes to get ready.
Nelson gets a 5 from me.
Good God, everyone's going mad. I don't even know what your numbers are for anymore. We're losing track of everything. And Aubameyang, I'm going to break his down into 3 sections. The first half, a 3. Second half, a 4. And extra time, I'm giving him a 6.
His all-round game, he gets a. So you can't. You told him I can't do fractions, so he's gonna have to get a 7. I thought there was some chances he missed and he could have done better, but he scored, so he kind of redeemed himself, so he gets a 7.
How about Willock?
Willock gets a 3 from me. I thought this wasn't his game today, and I'm not too sure because maybe they packed the midfield. He didn't have enough time or space to do anything, but today wasn't very good, and I think today was his chance to put himself in the shop window for Arteta, and he didn't do himself any favours.
Okay, I think that's all the starting 11. Now we need to look at the. I keep changing all my pages. I had all my stuff ready.
So Lacazette, we won't do him.
10.
Lacazette gets a 9. I thought he came on and done his
changed the game.
Yep, 100%. Granit Xhaka.
I think if you have a player, 5 is the middle, and they're shit, they get less. They're better, they get more. I think the more Xhaka plays with the better players, his averages are going up. He's having more and more good games and less bad games. So I'm going to give Xhaka an 8. For the short time he was there, I think he looked really good.
I'm going to agree with you. I'm going to give him an 8 as well. And I think Danny, I think you hit the nail on the head. When he plays the likes of Willian and Pepe, he can't do anything because those players don't run or gets the ball to them and they do nothing with it. And I think that when you play with better players, you automatically are a better player because the pass that you do comes off. So I agree with most of the people in the chat as well.
Apart from Waffles.
Yeah.
David, you tit.
Xhaka definitely gets an 8 from me.
I like how the chat's evolving, Carl. Rather than putting numbers, they're putting the players because they know we're lost and I'm just randomly clicking on people's names.
He's done that in first place, but Emile Smith-Rowe, everyone. Emile Smith-Rowe. What does he get? Danny, for me, he has to get a 9, doesn't he?
Only because you say he can't have a 10, I'm going to give him a 9. It's just everything that you want from a modern day footballer. He wants to play all the time. He's creative, going forward. He is on the same wavelength as so many other players around him. It's just give him a new contract now before he joins West Ham on a free. He reminds me of a young Jack Wilshere, but with more goals in him.
Oh, Jack! Do you think he'll sign for
Bournemouth? He's training with Bournemouth.
6-month loan at Bournemouth.
Hopefully, so he can get some game time and then come back to Arsenal. So who else we got? We got Saka.
Saka came on, I think was very good as well, and he gets I want to say my heart says why can't I have a fraction, Danny? All right, 8. It gets an 8.
I'm giving him pi, which is 3.14. Not recurring. That's the same number over and over. I'm going to give him an 8 because he played a lot of the game, and as soon as he came on, things started to click, and that was the beginning of us turning the game around and making us play better. So I'm going to give him an 8 because he's one of my favourites at the club. There we go. I'll highlight a few of those.
I don't know if we can give Ainsley Maitland-Niles a rating because
30 seconds.
What do you have? Like one pass? So for one pass, it was on target. So he's got 100% pass accuracy. Surely it's a 10, right?
He didn't fuck up. It's the perfect game.
So he gets a 5. No, but you can't give him a rating. But yeah, all in all, we played quite well. I think what we've highlighted, the fact that Willian and Pepe should be nowhere near the squad. I think that's what we've highlighted, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, Divian is giving Saka a 3 pi, which is 9.42. Is it 3.14? 3.14 times 3 is not 9.42, is it? Yes, it is. It is indeed. I counted it up wrong. Richard Morris is off his trolley to give Maitland-Niles $1 million. Oh.
Oh God.
David Keefe, how much is Saka worth? Cost us nothing. How much is Pepe worth? Cost us 72 million. I think it's reversed, 72 million and 0. We've been waffling on for too long. Oh, we haven't even done the questions. We've only got a few in here. I'll do them quickly. Julian Salmondo says, what about a cheeky bid for Fraser Foster, 5 million? No. Good. Formerly knows, what's the point of Willian? There isn't one.
Make up the squad numbers.
Good. Phil Macker, do you think Arteta will look to shift Willian out, or does he have the potential to stink in the place out like Ozil? Can he go? Can he get rid of him? 2.5 years left?
He won't be able to get rid of him for the simple fact that, no, he's not going to go anywhere. He's on a high contract. His agent basically runs the club. So, no, he's not going anywhere.
But there again, we do know Inter Milan love, what's his name? And Antonio Conte does love past it Premier League players. I mean, look at, he said Will Young there. It's not Will Young, the singer, is it? It's Ashley Young. That scumbag. He's over there. He's got half of the Premier League pensioners over there. So maybe Inter Milan will come in for him. So you can have him for nothing. Matt Roberts, he says, why do we always get stuck with crappy co-commentators? No offence, Karen Carney, in the EL. In these games, while others will get stuck with ones who should be doing our game, like Kieran. Yeah, Arsenal fans or Plex players should be doing the Arsenal games. Some of the shit that Danny Murphy was coming out with tonight, he's just a bitter wanker, isn't he? His entire career, he won 1 FA Cup, 2 League Cups. I'm not even, because Wikipedia puts down that if you're at the club and they won a competition, you won it, which you didn't. Unless you play in the final, you shouldn't get a bloody medal. So he won a couple of League Cups, a European Super Cup, but he's just a fucking arsehole, a miserable little prick. And Karen Carney's shit. I really didn't like Karen Carney until I saw her on Twitter and thought, oh, she looks like a nice person. And she doesn't look angry like I thought she would do, but she sounds like a 14-year-old boy. And is that other one, Clinton Morrison, another fucktard who should be nowhere near commentating. Absolutely fucking ridiculous.
I hate when ex-players, like I hate when Gary Neville commentates on Man United games and when Jamie Carragher commentates.
Oh, Carragher.
Is the two biased. I don't think they should be able
to. Owen.
Yeah, they shouldn't be able to commentate on their own ex-team's games. I think it's ridiculous.
We should have Alex Scott commentating on. Alex Scott and Ian Wright. Just let them do all of the Arsenal and also Gabby Logan and Kelly Cates. And there you go. Those four. I just want all those four commentating on the Arsenal games. And maybe a little bit of Keown every now and then. I like Lee Dixon. I like Alan Smith. I like all of that a lot. But it's a good point. Ex-Arsenal players should commentate on the Arsenal games. Make everyone happy. Then we're not going to complain, are we? Are we?
As Steve says, get on with it.
Yes. Yeah. Stefan says, Alan Shearer and Ian Wright were great. Yeah, they were arguing in the studio.
They were very good. I think I was saying it in my head, Gary Lineker, Ian Wright and Alan Shearer have really good chemistry together. Like I think they are very, very good together.
You're very right there. Right, that's the end of the show. We have done a half-hour show. Has taken an hour and a half, Carl. Whose fault was that?
Chris Carpenter's fault.
And if you want to contact... Oh, you can't, can you? Should we give out his email address for nudes?
Chris loves a dick pic, he does.
On his own, sadly. Don't know what he's missing out on, apparently. I don't know.
But, he's not Chris Carpenter anymore. It's Chris Trump, because him and the Donald have exactly the same thing in common. They got kicked off Twitter.
Daytac says, good job, bye-bye. Day's in a good mood. What better way to end a show? So we will be back on Tuesday with me and Carl and Femi and possibly one other, because we've got one group of 7 and another group of another 4, and that's 11 people, Carl. Do you know how many people have replied to it?
Danny, say goodbye. Batman, say goodbye.
Sickening. Thank you very much, Carl. Thank you very much, everybody in the chat and everybody at home, on the tractor, on the toilet, in the bath. And if you haven't spoken to your friends in a while, give them a ring, see if they're all right. It's tough times out there. Tough times indeed. Right. Thank you very much, Carl.
No worries, Daniel. Anytime.
And we will see you we won't see you on Tuesday because we're doing the podcast not live, because it's just easier for us. We can talk more. So until Tuesday, goodbye.